Sit right down. Baby,
it's 7:30. I'm G. Scott. That's Aaron Mason. We're KIRO Nights, and Rachel Belle is here.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Rach. How are you, Rach?
I'm good. I went away for the weekend, so I feel revitalized.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys feel revitalized?
No.
Nope.
Cool. Good.
Very transparent here on KIRO Nights.
Yeah.
You know, just, but you know what?
What?
I'm excited now. What do you got?
Oh, well, I want to talk about the latest episode of my podcast. A lot of people have been messaging and saying it's their favorite episode of Your Last Meal yet. Yeah, which is really cool. Aaron has been my producer for the past few years, but he is leaving us to come on this show, except for like some small duties. So I interviewed Isaac Mizrahi, who is known as being a fashion designer. He has a new memoir out called I Am a Memoir, and he just is one of the most charming people that I've ever spoken to. I'll tell you one thing about celebrities. You may be surprised. They like to talk about themselves. And I am interviewing them, and I want to get them, of course, on the show. Right. But it really stood out that Isaac actually asked me a question, which nobody ever does. So at the beginning of the interview, we were just waiting for something to get set up. And it sounds like nothing, but no one does this. He's like, Rachel Belle, what did you have for lunch today? And like I said, that doesn't sound like much, but nobody ever asks me anything.
People barely know your name when they talk to him, and he got first and last.
First and last. Thanks for that. You're right. Nobody knows my name. So Isaac has a great sense of humor. He has a great heart. He's one of those people that makes you feel really special when you're talking to him. But he also can be a little kvetchy. So I compiled this little deal right here that I'm about to play you of his hot takes on current food trends. So now I present to you a little segment I'd like to call I'll Tell You What with Isaac Mizrahi.
I'll tell you what I don't like as much as I thought I liked, which is fine dining. I don't like it that much. I don't like sitting there for hours. Like 11 Madison Park, right? It's like 11 hours. I'll tell you what I think has gotten so out of hand, darling, is pickling and brining of things. Like everything is like so pickly and briny and vinegary, and I don't like it that much. Did you notice there's a huge pickle brine moment going on? It's almost upsetting. And everyone's saying acid. You mean lemon juice? Like what the hell are you talking about? Acid, right? Acid is lemon juice or vinegar. Like what other acids are there? Can you tell me? Sorry, just say acid. Really?
I love him so much. So he sent me on a little mission. I don't want to give away what his last meal is, even though if you go to the podcast, it says it in the description. But I'm going to make you go to the freaking podcast, Apple Podcasts, yourlastmealpodcast.com. So he makes his own mint chocolate chip ice cream, and he makes it from the mint in his garden. And he wanted to know why, when you get a chunk of chocolate in ice cream, why it doesn't break your tooth. It's been in the freezer. Why doesn't it get super hard? So I reached out to Ben & Jerry's. I talked to Seattle's Molly Moons, and I talked to the kitchen manager at Nestle because they invented chocolate chips in the 1940s. So Heather Hodge, who is the head chef and manager of culinary operations at Molly Moons, says chocolate doesn't get super hard because of the fat in it. And they make special chocolate to put into ice cream that has even more fat.
We take Theo's 70% dark chocolate and some organic coconut oil, and we combine those two to make a inclusion that we drizzle into our ice cream that is able to be really, really firm when frozen and crunchy and crispy when frozen. But when it actually gets into your mouth, which is about like 94, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, it melts really, really quickly. So you get the texture of the crunch, but a really, really nice melting point, so you can get the full flavor of the chocolate.
Because you think about when you take a bite of ice cream and there's like a caramel swirl and a chocolate chunk and a little piece of cookie, like you don't want the ice cream to melt and then you just have this mouthful of weird, crunchy, hard stuff. You want it all to kind of melt in your mouth at the same time.
I don't know why I care so much. Actually, I do. My obsession with chocolate, my obsession with sweet, like this didn't used to be this way. This has been the last, I would say, since 2019 has started, like I have, like, it's bad.
Wait, only in the last 4 months?
Yes.
Is it because you've been eating extra healthy that you're craving more chocolate, you think?
It might be. It's so bad, guys. Like when nobody's looking sometimes, if there's a cookie, I don't eat one. I might eat 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Like I can't stop. Like, and I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm not making fun of those that have addiction to other things, but I know sugar is real, and like I really cannot stop. So right now, if someone came in, and I know I'm disciplined right now, if you came in with some hot cookies, I don't care. I can't say no.
Yeah. No, that's real. There's science behind that sugar lights up your brain just like cocaine does.
I didn't used to be like this. I used to be able to like, oh, I'm good. I'll have some in the holidays. No, it is not. It's just since the holidays, it's just keeps going now.
The older I get, the more I like sweets. I don't know if there's something to that, and if you're having the same thing, because I used to be totally savory. I could say no to cake, and now I can't say no to anything. And I've been thinking about going down to the vending machine all day since I've been here to get a candy bar, and I keep stopping myself and eating like pickles instead.
Lillian made me a chocolate cake. And we had to get together. First, the little kids had stuff for Easter early, and we were hiding the eggs, and then also for my birthday and the cake. And, everybody, had little pieces of cake. I ate half the cake. Nobody was looking. Everybody's talking and everything. I just kept going over, and I just keep bigger slices.
Did you do the thing where you just take the sliver, but you take like 47 slivers?
So bad. I know I'm not. I'm glad you're with me on this one.
And that's a classic thing, like being alone at night on a weeknight or whatever, like watching TV. Like I'll keep going down to the kitchen a million times to take that mini slice, as if it's like, why didn't I just take the big slice in the first place? I can't stop. And there was an episode of Sex and the City about this, and she ended up having to pour dish soap all over it in order to keep herself away.
Oh no!
And said that she was going to have to go to the Betty Crocker clinic.
Now, it
was a good pun.
You guys like warm dessert with some ice cream on top?
Yes, I do.
That's the best.
I like that. Yes.
Before we get on out of here, we got about 45 seconds. If you guys listen to Rachel Belle coming on the show, every now and then I like to ask about her significant other. His name is Dreamy. We haven't asked about him in a while.
Birth name.
How's Dreamy doing?
Dreamy is doing great. This weekend, or this week right now, is the Jewish holiday Passover. And so I always have a Seder every year, which is how we celebrate the holiday. It's basically like a dinner party where you do a service, like a religious service at the table, and you eat all kinds of foods that are symbolic. All of this to say that I invited Dreamy's mom to my Seder, which felt like a grown-up thing to me, because I still am like, I just want kids. And when I say kids, I mean like people in their 30s and 40s. So I felt like such a grown-up that I invited somebody's mother to my otherwise Seder of children.
And how'd it go?
It hasn't happened yet. It's happening this weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
Exciting.
That's Rachel Belle. Make sure you check out her podcast, Your Last Meal. And check it out where, Rachel Belle?
YourLastMealPodcast.com or wherever you get podcasts.
You know what time it is. It's time for Scenarios, Aaron Mason.
Oh, baby.
We doing scenarios next. KIRO Nights, I'm G. Scott. That's Aaron Mason.
Sit right down, baby, let your hair